Good morning, Nigeria, and happy Independence Day. Nigeria at 65, 1960 to 2025. That's great. So, at the back of my t shirt is written Nigeria at 65. I wish I could show it to you guys. And in front of my t shirt, you're going to see Africa Liberation Movement. African Liberation Movement. So it's interesting to me that at 65 years of age, we are launching this movement officially. It has been on the pipeline. We've been trying to work on the modalities and then strategies, building conscious density to be able to manage what the movement is meant for and all of that since 2018. That's when we got the vision for this movement, and then we began to work on all of those things to be able to run it effectively and purposefully. Now we all know that Africa is a developing continent as far as the continent of the world is concerned, and the most backward at that. Even though we have a lot of natural resources, we have a lot of human resources, but because we have the wrong definition of ourselves, we have not been able to harness the resources we have as a people and as natural resources to develop ourselves. So we tend to depend on what other people do, the Western world. We live on the standard of living that they define. So they build roads, we make use of the roads they build. They build cars, we use the cars they build. We wait for them to invent aircraft and then we just use the aircraft they invent. So they're always ahead of us in terms of thinking and trying to improve the standard of human life. And what we rather do back here is just to call ourselves some names, fight one another, do some issues. Now, I don't want to go into what could have been the reason for this false identity we have. There are so many narratives to it, there are so many truths to it, and all of those truths are true. But what is important to me is that we can redefine this identity. We can call ourselves a different name. We can give ourselves a different purpose. We can give ourselves a different vision and commit ourselves to drive this vision. Back home, leadership wise, over the years after independence in 1960, we know the Nigerian story. I'm not here to tell the Nigerian story. We know about the return of democracy in 1999, the Fourth Republic. We have been around. We know how all of that has been. That democracy was fought for. Yeah, a lot of things happened, a lot of pressure from the Western world. And at the right time, 1999, that came. We had it. President Olusegun Obasanjo was there for 8 years, and he did the best he could do. He did the best he could do under the circumstance he found himself. In fact, for me, 1999, so many of the persons that were brought into power in 1999 were people who were really, really ready for power because there was a lot of fear. Those that could have handled power better than the guys that came into power in 1999. This is my own opinion. Most of them were not interested. There was this fear that, oh, military can come back again and then lock up the civilian politicians and all of that. It happened before. So a lot of well-meaning Nigerians were afraid, and some of those guys jumped into the political arena, risking their lives, as it were. But luckily for them, there was no military coup. Again, democracy had come to stay. So, but they did not come in with that intention to build a nation. Okay, they just came in to pass time, and time favored them. So the looting thing, the corruption thing had a big eye, had a big access into the system. It was there, and it seemed like something that has been established over these years. From then till today, Nigeria is democracy in the fourth republic is about 26 years and still counting. So we know the problems of leadership in this country, that this democracy we have for the past 26 years has not been able to address the fundamental problems of the people, and understandably so. Like I said, the circumstances in which it came, the circumstances in which those that received it had to retain it up till this moment, there are things we would understand that they couldn't have confronted to do. That's for me. I will consider that. I would consider that. Looking at the polarity in the Nigerian state, the religious divide, ethnic divide, political interest, people not believing, the lack of patriotism, the destruction of institutions, and all of that, the lack of coherence. It's difficult for politicians to come into power and then just begin to rebuild all of these when they already have a concept that, oh, I'm here for 4 years and re-election is coming, and there are opposition powers or parties that are interested. People are trying to blackmail you. There's a lot of distractions. A lot of distractions. So there are certain things that government should not be left to do, or wouldn't expect that government should do it. So for us, why I conceived this movement was because there is need for us to come together as a people. Now, I'm not the first person that is thinking in this direction. There are a lot of well-meaning Nigerians that have talked about the people coming together. I listened to Dele Farotimi. Omoyere Sowore has been here for a long time, advocating for revolution and all of that, speaking about the power of the people coming together and all of that. And a whole lot of other well-meaning Nigerians have spoken on this subject of the need for coherence, the need for the people to see their commonality and come together so that they can define a vision for themselves. But in all of this that has been said, something has been lacking, that structure. So, how do we come together? How do we bring ourselves together under an umbrella to address the social challenges we have and the political challenges we have? So that's what informed this movement. That on one side, we have to address our social problems, be it ethnic, be it religious. We should be able to tell ourselves that those things are not meant to divide us. We can still be a people and work together. After all, we've lived together in this country right from when God placed humans in this place. People have always had diverse religious beliefs and all of that, and we have always been coexisting. So, and we are still coexisting. The Northerners are there, the Southerners are there, the Igbos are there. We make these things sound as if it's the problem, but ideally, in everyday life, we integrate, we interact, we do business together, and there is no problem whatsoever. But when it comes to politics, we try to highlight this and make it look as if, oh, that's the problem. But for me, it's something that we really need to call ourselves together and say, look, this is not our problem. These things have been used to distract us for so long. So we should be able to set those sentiments aside and define a name for ourselves, define a vision for ourselves. commit ourselves to driving that vision. So the first thing is that we have to mobilize ourselves as a people, define what country we want for ourselves, that we want to create an enabling environment. It's a country that will create an enabling environment for people to be able to exercise themselves positively. So you can see the better part of yourself in your country. You don't need to japa to go and find an environment where you can be a better person. That is an insult, is an embarrassment, is a shame to the black race. In fact, one of the reasons why I have decided not to travel. I'm a medical radiographer. I do ultrasonography. That's my area of specialty. And we just hit CPC. A lot of my colleagues have traveled. I don't have a problem with that. Anybody can travel to find a better environment for himself. Naturally, we all need to be secured. We need to be safe. So those that have traveled, fine. But for me as a person, when I look at it, where am I going? To UK? I'm going to Europe to go and work there. I want to go to Canada or where? Who built those places? If those guys had abandoned their state and look for where to run to, where will we be thinking of jackparing to? So that's the problem. Now, because I already have that philosophy in my consciousness, it becomes difficult for me to jackpot and be comfortable. Because that philosophy will always judge me. It will always judge me. So my fulfillment as a person is tied to helping to build my nation and my continent at large. There's nothing wrong with traveling out. But when the black skin, where you're going, people see you, the identity you have because of the way you have presented yourself, you can't be proud of the skin you wear anywhere in this world because of the name that is associated with that skin. The kind of things the world knows black people do. That's a shame. And we cannot blame anybody for it. We can't blame anybody. We should take responsibility. Whatever would have happened that had caused it to be like this, we can change it. And that is my commitment. My commitment is to mobilize us, that we sit down, we discuss, and we move forward. And I don't see anything that is going to be able to stop the movement. Because even you say, okay, politicians, people, the current system, those that are benefiting, we want to kill you and all of that. Fine, no problem. We know that happens. There's no way you will want to come and confront the system and then you think that people who benefit from that system should not protect themselves. That's natural. So if we expect that somebody should not fight or shouldn't want to kill someone who is coming to attack the system is benefiting from, we are not going to be fair to the person's senses. These are natural responses for self-preservation. So that will be there. That is there. But it is not enough to quench the energy of the movement because everybody knows that, look, we need this thing. Even the leaders that have robbed this nation, everybody that is practicing corruption today knows that corruption is not good. It is killing us. They know. They know. And for me, I believe that if we can all trust ourselves, even most wicked politicians, they would give away. So many of them would even yield and support the movement that is going to change the place. Because if this thing changes, everybody wins. Nobody is going to become poorer because there is development. Those guys that are rich, they are not rich. In my eyes, I don't really see any richness in what we call wealth or riches of these guys around Africa. As wealth. When you're living in a place that there's so many poor persons, if you want to divide your wealth and share it among the people, it's lost. But if you have a state where everybody is comfortable, even if you're not alarmingly rich, but you know you are safe. Because when everybody is comfortable, nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's really going to be interested much in how much of his that you are making use of. So if you need a thing, you can always get it. You're not the only one. You don't need to put all to secure yourself. You're secured in the state because in your state, everyone is comfortable. So that's the movement that I intend to mobilize us to build. Thank you, everyone. I I want to leave a phone number for us. This phone number is strictly for this movement. I have my own personal phone number, but I want to give us the phone number for Africa Liberation Movement. The phone number is 0811 057 4819. I'll call it the second time 0811 057 4819. That's the line. If you call that line, the line is with me. I'm going to pick it up. So if you're going to talk about the movement, you want to participate in any form, because like I said, we are building partners, those that are going to help us, build it, develop it from the scratch and all of that. It's open. Everybody should participate right from the foundation of building it. It's just an idea. I'm the visionary and I'm the guy with the energy. But every other person have ideas also that is going to, come in and partner with whatever I have. We add those ideas and then we build something robust and something sustainable. So that's what it's going to be. Let me use this opportunity to give a special shout out to Omo Yere Shore. Yeah, is it Omo Yere? Omo Yele? Yes, that's it. Yele Shore. Please, you've been doing a good job. I, I like what you're doing. It's not easy. It's not easy. I can tell you, it's not easy to be out there for this number of years. Even if you are not true, it's not easy. So you've been doing a good job. I want to say a special thank you to Dele Farutimi. That's another big brother. That's one of the guys that has made this quite very easy for me to come out because sometimes you have a vision. If you're the only one that is contemplating it, it might become difficult for it to be revealed. But when you listen to some persons and they see things that are in line with what you are also carrying, it makes it easy for you to work on it and birth it. So, Igbo, as we regularly call you, I'm very grateful to you. Thank you for being in a part of all of this. You've greatly been a support system in bringing this to come to pass. And I want to thank Randy Peters. He's been talking a lot on electoral reforms and he's doing that alone, like putting on the shirt all the time and running around there. Randy, you're doing a good job. I really appreciate what you're doing. It's part of the things that we are looking at, how to push through all of these things, get a decent electoral system is just part of it. Finally, to the spiritual fathers, all the spiritual fathers in the nation, I want to say thank you. Your prayers have found a way to capture me and find expression and all of that. I bless all the fathers. So my name is Echido Jonathan Akpanenwa. All our past presidents, I want to say thank you to all of you, our fathers who have been useful to us in this nation. Before President Obasanjo, Goodluck Jonathan, late Yaradua, and late Muhammadu Buhari, and to our current president, Bola Tinubu. You see, we don't have any problem with you, but it is just that we know that as responsible children, we cannot be sending you on errand. In fact, for me, you wouldn't have to do this job. For me, it's just that in a nation where the young people are not responsible enough, they can sit down and send their grandfathers to go to the farm and labor for them. It's not wise. That's not what it should be. In a nation like Nigeria, that a lot of work needs to be done, young people should be up and doing and active to get the job done the way it should be done. So please, once again, thank you and God bless Nigeria. Happy Independence Day.